Before taking the test, please note that this isn't a survey and these aren't questions, they're propositions. To question the logic of individual ones that irritate you is to miss the point. Some propositions are extreme and some are moderate. That's how we can show whether you lean towards extremism or moderation on the compass. Your responses should not be overthought. Some are intentionally vague. The purpose is to trigger reactions in the mind, measuring feelings and prejudices rather than detailed opinions on policy. Okay, page 1 of 6. Just a few prepositions to start with concerning, no less, how you see the country and the world. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. So this is one of the things that people say about the political compass test that people are frustrated by. Like who in their right mind would go, actually, they should serve in the interest of transnational corporations? Now, there are going to be a lot of brain-broken people who will see this and say strongly disagree because of their natural inclination toward the question. Some people are going to see rather serve humanity and then immediately have a reaction to that. Some people are going to see pro-transnational corporations and have an edgy response to it and then say strongly disagree. But from their perspective of triggering reactions in my mind, measuring my feelings, I strongly agree that as we globalize economically, it should serve humanity rather than corporations. Abso-fucking-lutely, I strongly agree. I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Strongly disagree. I mean, there's something to be said about supporting your country through thick and thin, I guess, at minimum. But this, as a statement, I strongly disagree. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Yeah, agree. I'm in between agree and strongly disagree. Some amount of national pride, I don't think is necessarily unhealthy. You know what I mean? I'll support the USA in the World Cup. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care about the United States national team, really. But I'll do it to support the World Cup. But ultimately, on the whole, yeah, you don't choose the country of your birth. So being proud of it, I hate... Maybe I want to strongly agree. Being proud of being an American just because that's where you were born, it's a little bit iffy to me, but I'll just stick with agree. One race has superior qualities compared with other races. Oh boy! There's no other answer than this. I mean, you'd have to be pretty fucked up to say anything otherwise. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Probably disagree. We might in one issue find common ground, but ultimately if they're my enemy ideologically, no, they're not my friend still. Let's say libertarians. Me and libertarians, okay? Libertarians want gay people to be able to get married. That's a good thing. I want gay people to get married. That's a good thing. In this case, the enemy to that ideal is authoritarian right-wingers who say, no, gay people shouldn't be allowed to get married. But I'm not going to say I'm friends with libertarians. Fuck that. Of course not. But so yeah, no, I disagree. I probably strongly disagree. But I'll stick with disagree. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. I mean, I guess, one international law, excuse me, this is this could be anywhere from rational to reactionary. You know what I mean? This statement doesn't necessarily mean it, excuse me, mean anything. And sometimes is carrying a lot of weight here too. Should you sometimes violate the Geneva Convention? I don't know. Maybe. Sometimes. Who knows? You might have to. So the word sometimes carries a lot of weight here for me. So I'm going to say agree. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I guess. You know what I mean? I don't think the fusion of information and entertainment is necessarily a bad thing. Um, but it can be good, it can be bad. So I'm going to say agree because while like I think the good is more neutral and the bad is actually bad. So we're going to say agree. Now the economy. We're talking about attitudes here, not the FTSE index. People are ultimately more divided by class than nationality. Strongly agree. We have a class war. That is the only war we are ultimately fighting. Whether you realize it or not, you are in the middle of a class war. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I mean, this is a more complex economic question than I understand. But like based on the description, based on my feeling, no, I think we need people to be working. So I'll say disagree. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment. Fuck yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? What kind of like crazy person would say like disagree or strongly disagree? Like you would have to be completely brain dead if you think like corporations are going to voluntarily protect the environment at the expense of profit. Like that's nuts. You'd have to be completely I can't even think nice to say. Stupid to think this. Okay, straight up. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. So this comes straight from the mouth of one Karl Marx. I don't know. This is one of those things, the principle refers to free access and distribution of goods, capital, and services. I mean, doesn't this fundamentally rely on, like, resource scarcity not existing? In the Marxist view, such an arrangement will be possible by the abundance of goods and services that a developed communist system will be able to produce. That is, the idea that with the full development of socialism and unfettered productive forces, there will be enough to satisfy everyone's needs. This sounds utopian, and I like the sound of this. I do. I think this sounds great. Now, whether or not this is attainable or feasible is its own question. I'm not 100% sure. So in that respect, I think it is a fundamentally good idea. It's just predicated on a lot of assumptions that I'm not sure. One, we definitely can't do now, for sure. Two, I'm not convinced we can do ever as humans. That's the thing about like Marxism and socialism. I think a lot of the ideas are interesting, but ultimately, they would require significant changes to ourselves as people that I'm not convinced we're willing to do. The freer the market, the freer the people. Nope. It's one of those things that like the left has an uphill battle to explain. Like free market, freer the like this sounds like a good slogan. I can see on the surface why someone would think this. But no, it turns out when you have a free market, all that happens is wealth and capital accumulates at the top, which results in less freedom for you and me because we have less resources. So no, strongly disagree. It is a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. Probably, yeah, I would agree with that. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. So this is another like Marxist principle, like whether you should be able to like private property, right? Like you can have personal property versus private property. That's like a socialist Marxist like talking point, essentially, from my understand. So this is one thing, like I just have to go on, like, fundamentally, I agree. You know, like, I think I'm going to say agree. But this is another place where, like, it is, like, there's the idealistic view and then there's reality. So I'm going to say agree. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. Agree? Yeah, strongly agree. Protectionism of subsistence trade? Absolutely. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. This is a tough question to ask because you're talking about like the fundamentals here. You know what I mean? Like in a capitalist economic system, yes, this is the truth. And so if you're referring to a company in that regard, yeah. But if you're saying company just like, I don't know, like under socialism, there are no companies, right? Like under communism and socialism, there are no companies. There's just one society, period. And like everyone just works a job. That's part of, you know, I guess like a vertical. But whether or not they're companies, generally speaking, from what I understand about like socialism or Marxism, they don't really function in this same exact way. In like a final stage communist or, you know, economic system. The rich are too highly taxed. Is there like super strongly disagree? Because that's where I'm at. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. No. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Fuck yeah, dude. A genuine free market. Oh, I think about this more. I can't, like, maybe there's some instances. No, fuck that. No. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. Absolutely. Like, well, that's tough. Like, a genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability. I mean, no, a genuine free market would allow predator multinationals to create monopolies. That's like, that is a symptom of the free market. That is why free market is fucking stupid. So like, is this question just poorly worded? You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna have a market, we do need restrictions on the ability of this to happen. But at that point, it's not a free market. It's a regulated market. It's you know, you're entering the territory of maybe a planned economy. But I'm going to say strongly agree because I think I understand the spirit of the question. Abortion when the woman's life is not threatened should always be illegal. Strongly disagree. Not even like, kind of think about it. All authority should be questioned. Yeah, probably, right? Like question it, but like we should be able to make solid intuitions. An eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. Strongly disagree. That is nonsense. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters. Strongly disagree. Okay, people are stupid, and if they're not gonna support the arts, that's like an issue and like a symptom of, you know, people being stupid. And so, government is there because people can't make good decisions for themselves. That's why I think government exists. I fundamentally believe that. I do not believe people are capable of making good decisions for themselves and good decisions for others. That is why I think government exists. If people could make good decisions for themselves and good decisions for others, I would be a libertarian, period. Like a real libertarian. Because we wouldn't need laws. If everyone just acted perfectly optimized 24/7, you wouldn't need a government. You wouldn't need structure. But no, people are stupid and people can't operate good for themselves or others. So that's why we need government to step in. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. So this is saying, like, what do they mean by this? Required. No, classroom attendance should be required. I absolutely believe that. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Whoa. Wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, you have to be a pretty shitty person to say anything other than strongly disagree. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Disagree. Corporal punishment, always bad. It is natural for children to keep secrets from their parents. Sure. Sure, strongly sure. Possessing marijuana for personally should not be a criminal offense. Well, I must have strongly disagree. Should not be a criminal offense. Strongly agree. The prime function of schooling should be to equip future generation to find jobs. No, it should be to make people smarter. They'll find jobs, but no, that's not what school should be about. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Strongly disagree. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. Yeah. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. I disagree. Like, I think it's a fallacy. I don't think if we supported everyone with like a baseline level of support, like i.e. free housing, free food, free healthcare, free education, I don't think people would just not work. I think that's a fallacy. So I disagree. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. No. What? No. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. No. I'm technically a first generation immigrant, and I'm fully integrated in my new country. What's good for the most successful corporations is ultimately good for all of us. Oh my god. Strongly disagree, of course. No, it's kind of the opposite. Yeah. No broadcast institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. No, I strongly disagree with that for sure. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Fuck yeah. That's unquestionable. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the... Oh, no. Yeah. I guess I agree with that. Like, it does avoid the arguments, but... Is that an advantage of one-party state? No, I disagree. Like, I think, no, one-party states are bad. Like, well, that's complicated. Okay, I don't even want to get into it now because I'm fucking tired and I thought I'd be done sooner than this. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Oh my god, strongly disagree. You know, I'm not a wrongdoer. I still don't want to be surveyed by anyone, company, private organization, or public, government. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Strongly disagree. I'm fundamentally against the death penalty in any capacity. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Strongly disagree. What the fuck? Abstract art that doesn't be considered art at all. Strongly disagree. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Strongly fucking disagree. It is a waste of time to try and rehabilitate. Strongly disagree. We should always fucking try. Like, it might not work, but we should always try. The business person and manufacturer are more important than writer and artist. Strongly disagree as a writer and artist myself. Mothers may have careers as home. Fuck no. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I don't know what this is. Plant genetic resources are the boundary of food security. Oh yeah, of course they are. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. No. If you got through that okay, you'll find these propositions on religion a breeze. Oh yeah, I'm very clear on my religious beliefs. Astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly disagree. You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Strongly disagree. Some people are naturally unlucky. I mean, no. It is important that my children's schools instill religious values. No, fuck no. Finally, a look at sex. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. Nope. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the process. Of course. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal. Of course. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Of course. No one can naturally feel homosexual. What? These days, openness about sex has gone too far. No? Let's see where I stand. North Korea's here, China's here, Saudi Arabia's here, Singapore's here, Uruguay's here, Switzerland's here. So who's here? That's right, no one. There are no countries like this. I would guess, like the last time I took this test, I was here. I would guess I'm probably in the exact same spot. Yeah. So. More left than before. I think I was like here. I think I was precisely here. So now I'm more left than I was previously, which makes sense. I took this, I don't know, 2 years ago previously, so I've definitely gone more leftward since then. But I was already pretty left, so. Yep. That's that.